You gotta take a card. All right, Eddie, it's you. Oh, no way! Are you serious?
He wasn't even paying attention.
Did you cheat? Man. All right. All right. Well, let's do it. It's time for the next episode. Good game. Still think he cheated. All right, ready?
Ready.
Ready, Eddie? Let's do it. Hey, guys. My name is Steve. This is Phil, and welcome to another episode of Inside Out. Woo!
Yeah.
So glad you guys are with us. And as always, we begin by rocking the house. Phil, my man. Yeah, dog. All right, here we go. So we're back for our final episode of Inside Out. This is where we take a look at the inside of things to find out how they work, because God looks on the inside, not on the outside. So we're going to jump right in it with Bible story. Bible story. Bible story. We're going to hear a Bible story. Yeah. All right. All right. Now, it's going to be a little different today because we're not necessarily going to have a specific Bible story, but what I want us to do is we're going to look back and kind of look through David's life. We're not going to look at every single episode, but there's one big idea I want you to walk away with today, and that is heart. Now, if you remember, we started the very first podcast with what?
Heart.
With heart, right, Phil? Way to be on it. We started with heart. Now we're going to end the final podcast today with heart. With heart. Now, it doesn't matter what's on the outside. One of the things we learned with David from the very beginning, guys, was that everyone else, including Samuel the prophet, was looking for the big, tall, handsome, strong, talented person to be the next king of Israel. God was looking for someone who had the right heart, someone who had the right will, someone who was committed to Him and would be willing to obey God. Somebody who loved God. That's the person that God was looking for to be the next king. Now, we saw all through our stories that David did make some big mistakes. He had some big successes and he did please God on many occasions. But David had some pretty big mess ups. But the one thing that we can see from David's life all the way through is he had the right heart. He disobeyed, he failed God, but even as several episodes ago we saw with the prophet Nathan, when Nathan came to him and said, hey, you committed a bad sin here. This is a terrible thing. David didn't make excuses and say, oh no, my brother did it, it was my sister. No, really, I wasn't there. He didn't do that. He admitted it. He owned it. He said, you're right, I made a bad mistake. He acknowledged his sin and he repented. You see, guys, David had the right stuff on the inside. That's why God chose him, not because of what anybody else could see on the outside. God chose him because of his heart. All the way through David's life, we see that over and over and over. He had the right heart. He had the right stuff on the inside. That's why God was able to use him on the outside. So the big question is, do you have the right heart? That's what we're going to look at today, Phil.
Awesome.
Now it's time to move right on into
our favorite special guest.
Special guest.
Here we go.
Memory verse. Memory verse. Memory verse. We're going to hear our memory verse. Yeah.
And now it's time for our memory verse. So let's stand up and say this together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all ways acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. That was good, but for the last time, let's do it once more, really loudly as you possibly can. 1, 2, 3. Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all ways acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Great job, guys. You can take a seat.
Now,
move on. Let's
it
do it.
is time for the big idea. All right. What is the big idea, Phil?
The big idea in this episode was that David was a man after God's own heart. And it was this attitude, it was his heart that made God choose him to be king. Now, David still made loads of mistakes. He made some really big, bad choices throughout his time. But he fixed them afterwards, and he had the right heart and the right attitude, and he wanted to do right, and he wanted to do right by God, and he had that respect and that love for God to serve him.
He did, no doubt.
That's the big idea, having a heart for God.
It is. It's the big idea. Now, we go right to application. Sweet.
You moved, my son.
Eddie, you could take that out, right?
Application!
Yes. Right. You got it, man. You got it. All right, guys. Application today is this. Now, when we first started the very first episode in our podcast of Inside Out, we looked at the golf ball. Bill cut this sucker open, and we could see what it was made of. And we could see why it's round and why it goes as far as it does, why it goes as straight as it does. But here's the thing, the golf ball doesn't move on its own. Something has to move it. And that's what this golf club does. You hit the golf ball and it goes. Doesn't always go where you want it to go, but it still goes. See guys, here's the thing. When you have the right heart and everything is right on the inside, God can use you to do great things. Just like this ball sits here, this golf club can be used to move this golf ball anywhere we want it to go. And when you have the right heart, the right stuff on the inside, God can use you no matter how big you are, no matter how young or how old you are, no matter where you live, what school you go to, no matter what your family's like, God can use you to do incredible things if you have the right heart. David had the right heart even though he made tons of mistakes. But he still had the right heart. He loved God. And what we want you to leave with today is this. Even though I'm young, even though things aren't perfect in my life, and even though I make mistakes, I can have the right heart. I can have a heart after God. Phil, that's what I want. I want to have a heart after God, so God can use me to make a difference in this world. Right?
Right.
Guys, we want you to have the right heart. A heart that God can use. That's what it's all about. Right on?
Right on.
Woo! All right. Now, it's time to say goodbye. Thank you for joining us on.
Again, I thought the last time, I thought you might actually get it on this one, but...
You're right. You're right. It's time for Don't Try This at Home.
Will it blend? That is the question. Another bad day on the links. This time, I don't think it's the balls. So, I'm going to blend my driver. Now I can work on my short game.
Sweet! Who does that?
Oh, it's that guy.
Who blends a golf club? Nobody except him. Guys, hey,
Unbelievable.
just remember, whatever you do, Don't try this at home. Ever.
Ever.
Never put stuff in your mom's blender. It's wrong. It's sin. Don't do it. Never put stuff in a blender, especially your dad's golf clubs.
Yeah.
Bad. Let us do that. We're the professionals. Again, don't ever try that at home. All right. Awesome. Once again, guys, great episode. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed this and all the episodes of Inside Out. Woo! So, until the next time we come your way, we're going to rock out. Woo! All right, what's up? Woo! Welcome, guys. My name is Phil. Ow! Ow! What? Yeah! Yeah! See,
And now it's.
All right. I forgot what I was supposed to say after that. Sorry, Phil. Sorry, Phil. I'm so sorry. Because God doesn't look on the inside. Where does he look, Phil? Yeah, I said, yeah, I suppose I just said.
Yay, me!